Yeah, I've been rushing all day because I went out to Giga Texas, and then I had someone that wanted to meet me there today. He flew all the way from Boston.
Oh, wow. So you got to show him the ropes. That was what he was doing.
He was out there already flying his drone and stuff, all just getting into it, you know?
Nice.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for watching. My name's Bryan Roschetzky. I'd like to welcome everybody here. We got James Barber here from Oregon Cash Flow Pro. And go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell them about you. Tell us about yourself and what your specialty is.
Sure. So my name is James Barber. My YouTube channel is Oregon Cash Flow Pro. And my goal is to help people maximize their cash flow. And I do that through a number of ways, but you might have to check out some of my videos to understand some of this, or maybe we'll dive into it. But utilizing what we call dynamic banking, infinite banking, that's a couple of different ways. I do live streams of day trading of Tesla and just overall looking at the stock market. We open the stock market every morning. That was where Bryan and I connected originally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I suggested he start a channel.
You know, and that's another topic I actually want to kind of point on, was because I've noticed other people on your channel say, hey, I recently started a YouTube channel. And I feel that that's just a thing. Like this is a growing subject and a growing thing that people want to do. I feel that I've gained so much knowledge from YouTube, just like I've gained knowledge over the past from the internet. And this, I feel, is just like an extension from that, and definitely one that seems to be more personal.
Absolutely.
And more real.
I find a lot of times when I'm talking to people and we're talking about maximizing their cash flow, it's not always just about eliminating debt that they've got, although that can be a big part of it, but expanding our income. And part of that is like, you're really good at something. Maybe people on YouTube might find it advantageous to learn something from you, totally. And it's a good way to just start generating some passive income. I mean, sort of passive, because the videos, once you make them, they kind of work all the time, 24 hours a day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the same thing I say about my stock photography, that it's almost passive. Like you have to go out and do the photography, but then once they're up, right, it's, making royalties, anything that's kind of like able to make that income in a long-term period. Maybe there's a sub name for this. It's like, it's passive, but it's still like, you still got to work to do it. But I guess most all passive incomes, you have to do something. It's just like when it comes to stock and people talk about stock dividends as passive income, it's more of just a swipe of a button, right, and then you get this passive income. But you still should research and do your other things, right?
Yeah, so it's always good to expand your passive, we'll call it passive recurring income. So that's good. Yeah, so I help people do that. I mean, I kind of give ideas. I help people maximize their cash flow any way that I can. So like I pay attention to all kinds of things out there having to do with finance and cash flow and credit. And, my goal is to just help as many people as I can. Now, that's what I do on YouTube. My actual job is I'm a life insurance broker, a contract with a bunch of carriers. And my goal with those, like the niche that I fill in that life insurance market is high cash value designs that are meant for cash growth potential. And so that's kind of where I started my YouTube channel as well. I've got a number of videos dedicated to that, but I've expanded to really anything that I can find that I think somebody might get some value from. And so we go way beyond just talking life insurance, but that is my day job, is figuring out.
And honestly, like I come on your channel a lot and I'm just like cracking jokes, but I feel like personally, like I gained so much from like you and everyone else in the channel, and the same thing for almost anything, whether it's like photography. And I feel like it's the same thing, how you say you have this life insurance career, and this YouTube is kind of like funneled through it, and I was a photographer and like thought, well, maybe I can funnel some as well and get something from this. And then it's funny that we both have Cybertrucks on order. We're both like Tesla, and maybe that's part of it too. People that get into Tesla also get into how real YouTube is, and we're gaining so much information.
There's all kinds of ways for people to connect, and YouTube, I think, provides a really great platform where people with similar interests you kind of get together, and then you start learning about other other things. You get exposed to
Sure.
new ideas and new
Yeah.
experiences and new perspectives. And it's just awesome. You know, I call it the cash flow community over there on my channel,
Hmm.
because we have, I don't know, we probably have about the same 70 or 80 people that always come and log in and open up the market with us as we do our day trading and swing trading and talk about
Hmm.
investments. And then a lot of it carries over into our private Discord channel as well. And we're just becoming a really good community. You know, we've got people that have been there for 6 months now, maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, about 6 months now since people have started becoming members of the channel. And it's just
Yeah,
awesome.
I've noticed. I've noticed. I know some names now in your channel, like I Waka, like he's always on there.
Yep.
So yeah, no, it's great. It really is like it's the community basis and everyone kind of has their niche. Um, and yeah, it's just a really great thing. I'm so happy for it. Like I don't even know what I'd be doing at this point without it, and it's not like I've just started, I feel, and I'm still growing. So it's not like that much of a percentage of my income, but it's still like already something that I want to like fully pursue and consistently try to grow. Um, I just
Yeah,
love it
there's
so
a
much.
lot of ways you can take this. So YouTube in particular, like your channel's blowing up. There's a lot of people interested in Giga Texas. You know, I mean,
Mhm. Totally.
Tesla has a huge following all over the world. Like, I'm
Exactly.
sure you've figured that out. And you know, people get a chance to see your personality, and now they're learning about what else you have to offer besides these cool drone videos that are
Mhm.
keeping them up to date on how Giga Texas is coming along. So
And
it's just a great way to expose, you know, everything you do outside of that to new people. And
yeah.
yeah, it's just a great opportunity.
Yeah. And I have been wanting to do more call options. And that's like the one thing where I'm constantly checking in. Like I'm constantly watching your videos, like, and just inching my way into it because I feel like it's still a little step above my risk level, but it's
Right.
still something that I'm like on the verge every now and then. I'm like, okay, I can do which one am I going to do first? Ideanomics, or is it going to be something lower, probably than like 1,000 shares of Tesla or whatnot.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it's so amazing that like I never thought first that I would be into this realm, into the stock market realm in this part of my life. And then now with YouTube, you have like just an unlimited amount of information where I feel, and with, I guess, the Robinhood apps making it possible. Whereas before, that's what a lot of people were like, hasn't it been like this for a long time? And we're like, well, no, like before the Robinhood apps, you had what, like a $5 commission. So you had to like kind of like have a lot more invested in each trade, I guess is the thing. And I just kind of recently got into it. So I really couldn't even imagine what it would have been like back then. That's why I never did any stocks, because where do you even go? I didn't know where to even start in that point.
I hear you. That's where I started too. Robinhood and then Webull, you know, places where you can do free options, free trades.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have liked to pay. I think it was like 10 or 11 bucks a trade, you know,
Wow.
depending on where you're going. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's just, it's unfathomable to me at this point because I didn't grow up in that arena, you know,
Yeah.
and Robinhood's basically pushed every other broker to offer free trading. Some of them still charge for options, which is kind of annoying, but
Mhm.
you know, that's just what it is. And I think it's been overall pretty good. And
Yeah.
we're learning in this space. I kind of took off. My channel took off when I started doing the day trading. You know, I mean, it
Yeah.
took off along with Tesla, and I started focusing on Tesla stock.
Yeah.
But I
You do
ever
have like
since
a
then, I've been focused on learning options, and
really, okay.
I've probably put in 10,000 hours in trying to educate myself on options.
Yeah, you have
And now
to.
my goal is to educate everybody else. So
Yeah.
that's where
Dude,
you're finding value. And
for
yeah,
real. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And everyone else on the channel, you can tell, like, that's definitely why between you and then the other people that are on the channel and the back and forth. What other thing do you think right now is like the biggest catalyst? I know we talk about Tesla a lot. I mean, of course, I'm wearing a Tesla shirt. I'm doing Giga Texas. Um, what about the Cybertruck? That's I keep saying if it doesn't have a mid gate, I'm gonna be upset. I told someone that earlier today. I still think I am. If it doesn't have a mid gate, um, and there's just so many things like coming together at once. Full self-driving, we have Cybertruck, we have all sorts of different things. um I guess what are you really looking forward to the most out of
Yeah,
it of
as far as
anything?
Tesla catalysts,
Yeah. Let's say
full
on that.
self-driving. Full self-driving is my number one thing.
Really,
You know, I
and
mean, I bought
that's definitely finance wise, right?
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
bought a Model Y and I bought the full self-driving option. I've got a tri-motor Cybertruck on order with the full self-driving option,
Oh
just
wow, yeah,
because I'm excited for it. I mean,
yeah.
I use the autopilot as it is, and like I'm pretty happy with it. Like I feel like I didn't have to pay 10 grand for it. I spent 8 grand on the
Yeah.
Model Y, and when I reserved the Cybertruck, it was only 7 grand. It feels
Oh,
like
I
that's
should have
worth it,
done it.
even just for
Oh,
getting
I
the
should have
autopilot.
done it.
Yeah, even just with the autopilot as it is, feels like it was probably pretty worth it to me.
I should
You know,
probably go change it right now. Like I need to go change it. I need to get the full self driving. I
full
really
self
do.
driving is going to be huge. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, when that comes out, not only is that going to basically change the world, but that's going to cause the stock price to just go crazy. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
once people start seeing all the videos of people engaging it and what it can actually do,
Hmm.
it's just going to blow people away, because like almost nobody knows about this stuff right now. Like
Yeah.
regular people
Yeah.
like you and me that pay attention, we follow the stock. You know,
Oh yeah.
everybody that follows the stock knows about it, but your regular folks, they don't know about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I think the way it is with the 2 point, the like the code writing 2.0, where it's not like they're not writing the code anymore. It's writing its own code for certain things. And
right?
like that, people don't know anything about this. Like they don't even know how the coding is. They probably don't even know about like the neural net and how all the Teslas are feeding back data. You know, that right there seems like, even if you don't know that much, if you were like, yeah, Waymo has like 10 cars or 20 cars or whatever, 200 cars, and they're sending data, but Tesla has millions of cars or whatever, a million, and they're sending data. And you're like, okay, that's like way different.
Yeah, that's what I think a lot of people don't understand is like Elon has said, he said a couple times that he's like hoping for level 5 autonomy by the end of this year. And nobody can fathom that, because that's like
Yeah.
massive jumps, right? We talk about solving the nines, where you've got, you know, the full Tesla's full self-driving can operate in 99.9% of situations, while solving the nines is that next 9%, the 0.09%, and then the 0.009%, and then the 0.0009%, because we've got to continue to solve those nines if we're going to get to a point where we can actually have autonomous driving and not be at risk. Because when you start having millions of people driving autonomously, or millions of vehicles driving autonomously, all of those little nines start to add up. Because if there's even one failure, that's like a huge setback. You know,
Yeah.
everybody's waiting to pounce and
Totally.
blame it, and that the financial ramifications, if you've only got 99.9% solved, be huge. You know,
Yeah.
and XPEV, big Tesla copycat in China, right? They came out last week, I think, and we're talking about their full self-driving, and they're at like 94%,
Oh
which
wow.
is which is
Yeah.
way far away. I mean, it sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Sounds
still, but
like
like I
that's
didn't
kind
even
of
know that
behind
they
the
had
curve.
I didn't like half of these other people I don't even know they have full self-driving. Just like Cadillac says they have full self-driving, but is it really?
Everybody's working at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
XPEV basically copied Tesla with almost everything, and like there was lawsuits, and so they're actually fairly close. Although they've decided to put lidar in, and that's like the first breakaway from Tesla that we've seen. So we'll see how that ends up being. But they're, when they say they're like 94%, that's not even close. I mean, Tesla's at like 99.99 already.
Yeah, sure.
So once we get that magic button that we can download it, and now suddenly there's going to be 100,000 people doing the full self-driving beta with that city streets. Now you're talking an exponential growth of information that the neural net is going to be learning from. And so that's where I think, I mean, if we get it this month, like we're hoping, it might be possible by the end of this year that it learns enough.
Yeah.
You know, because that growth is just going to be exponential. We're going to be solving those nines, and before you know it,
That's what
cars are driving themselves.
I'm so surprised, because I just considered that he would, even if it got this close, that he would not do anything about it until maybe like until the Model 2. You know, but it looks like, you know, so maybe it's not even about, I just consider the Model 2 the robo taxi car, right? But then it's like it doesn't have to be in any way. Like
Right.
it can literally start next month, and it could be Model S owners and just Model Y owners and Model 3s and Cybertruck owners when that comes out. Like, and I just kind of had this hunch in my head that the timing of it would be around Model 2.
Yeah,
You know,
maybe. I mean, what I've noticed is that Elon and Tesla in general, they don't do anything traditional. Like if it was a traditional auto manufacturer, they would roll out the first version of full self-driving this year, and then the next version of it next year, and then a little bit better the year after that. And they would just drag it out over the next 20 years,
yeah.
just
And maybe
because it
that's it.
allows
Yeah.
them to sell a little bit
Yeah.
more every year, and it doesn't make
Sure.
anything obsolete. Tesla, they'll just roll it out. Like as soon as it's ready, it's coming out. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, they've got to do their best not to hurt other sales. So they try
Yeah.
not to put it out until it's ready.
Yeah. They try
Right. I
not to
mean,
Osborne
yeah,
as
yeah,
much
they
as
don't
they
want the
can.
Osborne effect. They don't want the Osborne effect. So they're going to temper expectations. And so Elon has started doing that. I mean, really, he sandbags a lot of the things that he's talking about lately, if you've noticed.
And that's what I
And I think
assume.
that's
Yeah.
why. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
why.
But then it's like, okay, maybe he is sandbagging on things, and like and it doesn't need to wait till Model 2. You know,
Right.
like that's a thing. Like, you know, maybe that's something that like kind of had a hunch in the beginning that people were talking a lot about, was this new really inexpensive robo taxi car. But then really, who says the Cybertruck can't be the main robo taxi car?
Well,
You know, or
there's a lot of
million miles
reservations
forever,
out there.
stainless steel. Yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
reservations to make the Cybertruck a robo taxi. You know,
Yeah.
there's over, I think there's over 800,000 reservations for the Cybertruck now. And if you go on Tesla Twitter, a lot of people there have reserved like 10 or 20 vehicles.
Yeah.
Because the Cybertruck was the one. That's the one that's going to come out when full self-driving comes out. That might change if we do end up with Model 2 available prior to the full self-driving rollout, and people can start reserving it. But right now it's like $100 to reserve your Cybertruck, and potentially, like I was just seeing somebody today, they're like $100. It's like putting a call option in on full self-driving. You could turn that maybe into 50 grand in a year or so, right? If full self-driving is successful. Wow. So something to consider.
Yeah, you know, and honestly, like I've been totally more interested in the Cybertruck because I am a snowboarder and like want it for off-roading and stuff. And I have someone lined up who's another 14er climber, which is like all the highest mountains in Colorado, basically. I think there's one 14er in Washington, Mount Rainier, 3 in California. Most of them in Colorado, though. A lot of them are easy hikes, nothing big, but most of them, a lot of them, it said you can't see the peak of a 14er from like a paved road. Huh. Right. So a lot of the reason why people do them, even if some of them might be an easy hike, but it's really high altitude. So the view is amazing. But a lot of the access might be 4x4 road. Some of them even say like modified 4x4 vehicles only. And then you'll see like trucks and stuff parked right here, and then another like maybe 1,000 feet up a little bit more steeper and a little bit rougher, rockier road, maybe some like river crossings. And I remember the last time I rented like an SUV, and I probably like shouldn't have gone up that road, but I did it because I wanted to do it. And there was one part, I mean, I thought I was stuck just like that, like on like a kind of a stream. But it's like, I want the Cybertruck because I know like that auto ride height, that's insane. That's going to be amazing to be able to go out and auto leveling, auto dampening. If auto leveling truly is what it is, like that was another thing. I go through these switchbacks where it's like these, curves, and on the curve, like I feel like I was going to tip over just completely and roll it. And so auto leveling, I feel, would be perfect, right? That's, I think, what it's for. And just so many things that I didn't realize, like how amazing this would be. Also, because the drive from here to there is so far, gas cost was a lot. So I was like, well, I don't really want to buy a truck, do all this stuff. So this is the culmination of everything into one. I've been waiting out. I was like, I'll get the Model 3, but I was like, no, I'm not going to get the Model 3. I need a hatchback. Hatchback never came out. Model Y came out. Okay. But then I was like, oh, so now Cybertrucks came out. Oh, so So yeah, I'm pretty stuck on it too.
So what version what do you have reserved?
I have the dual motor, which I'm a pretty like financially never try to get into debt person, but I'm like, just like you said, like it's so perfect with my photography, with the YouTube, everything coming together. Like I need this. My 5-year-old, my son, 6-year-old now, he's like stoked about this, like.
Well, now you've got a Tesla channel, you can write it off,
Yeah, so many things.
Turned into a business expense.
So many things. Yeah, it's getting great. So and Giga Texas Day was really busy. That was another thing that I was going to mention to you because I haven't got my video out. I'm still working on it. But it was busy today. It's been felt like kind of slow, but they're finally like steel's going in on the back section. And the steel's starting to go in, the foundations on the battery sections completed. So they're going to finally start really like, it doesn't look like there was a lot of change going on because they've just been pumping it inside. But I think it is like a lot more completed than like meets the eye. I think it has to right now. Yeah. For a lot of people that have been watching the videos,
yeah. When do you think Giga Texas is going to be ready? I saw the news last week or just earlier this week that they're opening up a line in Fremont to start training the production folks for Giga Texas. So they're going to be ready to go as soon as the line is ready to go in Texas. They're going to be producing.
I've been considering that the Cybertruck would be the first one out because they're already producing all the other vehicles in other places. Right.
Yeah, everybody before was talking about Model Y being produced.
Exactly. Which makes sense too, because that makes the most money. But I don't know. But then I also thought the same thing, that no, it'll be the Model Y that comes out first because they can use the old batteries. They don't need the batteries. They're waiting on the Cybertruck because they're waiting on this extra 4680 battery section of Giga Texas. But then I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense either because they're already making those batteries in Fremont as well. Right. So, so I don't know. It's totally plausible that it could just be Cybertruck coming out first. And
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it makes sense though, because also in that way of like production, slowly get that going and then feed to Model Y, like right next to that. Or maybe they're doing both, that like Model Y and Model 3 or whatever, those lines are kind of coming along as well, but they're like definitely focusing on getting the Cybertruck line first.
Yeah. Maybe they'll end up with some coming together at the same time.
Yeah.
Not really necessarily one over the other.
Yeah. And also like, where is the steel going to go into the factory, or is that going to be like a whole different, I mean, there's just so many questions that I have, like the process of that steel, because we know Steel Dynamics is doing the thing down in Sinton. So like with, it's going to have the steel for the Cybertruck.
Yeah. So I figure it'll probably come from there. It'll go to Giga Texas where they'll put the whatever the blend is that they're going to do with the nickel, right?
Yeah.
Is that going to happen outside of Steel Dynamics, or does that happen at Steel Dynamics? Any idea?
Well, the way that I see it too is like, so don't they have to put the steel through that new 9,000 ton gigapress machine?
Yeah, that'll happen after it's got the blend that they need.
Okay.
So Steel Dynamics is going to provide the stainless steel, but I don't know if they're going to be providing it do they provide
30 cold rolled or whatever, the cold rolled and all that kind of stuff?
But the blend of nickel,
the exact
what
blend,
SpaceX has developed. So SpaceX has developed their nickel stainless steel blend.
Yeah.
Right. For the Starship. And that's
which no one else has created. Yeah.
Right. And that's what we're going to be using for the Cybertruck. But does that process happen at Steel Dynamics?
Sure.
Or does Tesla keep that close to the vest and make that happen after they get the steel?
Yeah.
So there might be a process there at Giga Texas where that's going to happen. Then it'll go into the press.
Yeah.
So that's what I don't know.
Through the line. And it doesn't need paint. So like it could skip on things like that. That's why I was considering that it could have a second, like there could be a second facility off next to it that's like doing just that.
Yeah, just developing
But
that skill.
I just don't know for sure. I haven't heard any other word or know anything's for sure. So
Yeah, I'll have
it's
to
hard to
check
say.
on that because I don't know what SpaceX does to develop their steel right now. That'll probably give us some insight. I'll have to try and see what we can dig up with that.
Yeah, on SpaceX, what do you think about their launch? Did you see the guy that hit all the pieces after it blew up, like right in front of his camera, like pieces of Starship was like flying right in front
No,
of
I
his
didn't
gear and
see
stuff.
that. I only
It was
saw
amazing.
I only saw the video on Twitter where it showed the explosion through the fog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I just thought about myself because he was listing off the cameras that he has, and he's like an A7, all these whatever. And he's like, we have two Sony A7R2s. And I'm like, oh, I have that camera. So then I felt more related to it. And yeah, I mean, like, and he was worried that he might have lost camera gear or his satellite that they use to relay all the stuff to their man. Yeah. And I saw his video saying that he hopes to go and be an astronaut. Hopefully they'll take him to the moon. He was asking for SpaceX to take him to the moon because he's like the number one, SpaceX live guy down there. And it's like, dude, this guy is dedicated, man. It's crazy. I love it, man. I hope to get down there. Are you planning on going down there at all?
No, I mean, I got no plans yet.
Yeah.
I haven't
when you get the Cybertruck, maybe autopilot down there, full self-drive.
If the Cybertruck comes out, I will go pick that up in person if I get the opportunity. That'd be fun.
Cool. We might see you live there then.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
All right. Let's say got a couple people say what's up. How you doing, Devin? What's up, Great American?
Great American. Hey, he's always
yeah, that is. I knew that name sounded familiar. How you doing, buddy? All right. Yeah. This was great. I know it's been kind of quick because I've been super busy and I need to get back to editing.
Yeah, I don't want to hold you up on that. You gotta get those videos out. Your channel's been killing it, man. You're growing fast. It's awesome.
I'm trying. We're trying our best here. Yeah, it's great. It's great because that's exactly what I love doing, and just keep it going. Keep it building.
I'm sure it's nice to mix in something else other than just drones and editing, so it kind of keeps you engaged and excited.
Yeah, dude.
Even though you don't get many views, it looks like on the other videos that you're trying
on live streams. It's definitely a time thing. I've noticed if I do it in the evening, it'll be going crazy. And I kind of noticed that for you too. I noticed that like your morning ones are like just solid, and then like I tuned in one in the afternoon and it was a little bit less, and I got to talk a little bit more.
Yeah, that was surprising because that was only a recent thing. Yeah, usually when I do like close a market, a lot more people.
Really?
Or actually no.
I was just assuming it was a timing thing. Like
when the market is just ended, if some news comes out and I get on and I get to announce it and talk about it, I'll get like 400 people on there.
Yeah.
But I never see that in the mornings these days, unless something major happens. If something major happens with Tesla, we'll get a nice group of folks out. But
yeah. What do you think about Biden's infrastructure bill? Have you heard anything about it?
Yeah, I'm a fan. Yeah. I mean, our infrastructure is so behind. We were like,
no joke.
A couple of years ago, we were over $3 trillion behind in infrastructure spending. So I'm sure it's gone up since then. And yeah, those are big numbers, but we've been really underfunding it for a long time. Yeah. So we're just going to have to take the hit. I mean, it's going to benefit all of the businesses in the US. When we just think, I mean, right now we've got all these trucks, cars that businesses own that drive around and they get damaged from these bad roads.
Yeah, totally.
It's kind of a hidden cost in there with all of the stuff that we buy, where they've got to replace tires and wheels and anything else that rattles loose and breaks because of that. Rocks kicking up and breaking windshields, which just happened to my Tesla. We just got a crack in it 2 days ago.
Oh no fun.
Yeah. So we've got to replace that, but infrastructure. So our roads. Our bridges are horrible. Just think of the bridges that have fell down and the lives lost over the last few years.
I was going to say in Corpus Christi, where I'm from, in order to go to Padre Island, to go to the beach, it's an island with a big causeway. And there's a good few miles of a stretch where it's just flat above the water. And a section of it I saw on the newspaper one time when I was going down there for the weekend, this whole section of it collapsed and multiple cars drove off the edge.
Wow.
And it's huge. It's like, I don't know how many feet, but it's huge. Just to imagine like a whole section It's just crazy. Yeah. To
Yeah, I
think
mean, so when
how
people
bad it
talk,
really is.
yeah, so when you hear people complain about the cost of that infrastructure, we've got to look at what the cost is when we don't keep it up. You know,
Exactly.
I mean, we spent a lot of money on infrastructure 60 years ago, 70 years ago.
Mhm.
And that was when we had higher federal taxes. And, since then, we still got all this infrastructure to maintain, but we don't have those same amount of taxes. And so it
Mhm.
gets really hard. And that's a big reason why we're so far behind. It puts all the onus on the states and the local municipalities to keep up that stuff, and they just can't afford it. So
Yeah.
the only way it's going to happen is with a big federal stimulus bill, where because the government can do it.
Mhm.
They're not tied to a budget like states are, that they've they've got to balance their budgets.
Mhm.
So I'm a fan of it. I hope to see it pass.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I guess that's fingers crossed for that because I heard also the EV bill. It's possible that the EV bill could be maybe the number could be gone. And if that's possible, that means that if it's gone completely, then we could even get a discount on the Cybertruck.
Oh, you mean a limit?
The EV discount limit. Yeah.
Yeah, limit on each one. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of ideas out there. Who knows what they'll come up with?
What the
I would
end
love to
result would
see.
be. Yeah.
I would love to see just a flat amount, like not per manufacturer, but let's say like the next 10 million EVs get this discount.
Yeah.
And
Or
so
per kilowatt.
I don't even care about that. Just like
Yeah.
we want to incentivize manufacturers to build EVs. And so
Yeah.
if the incentive is the next 10 million get this big discount,
Mhm.
now they're incentivized to get it out quickly. Whereas
Yeah.
if it's just like, your next million EVs you sell, it doesn't matter how slowly they roll it out. If they're still making money on ICE vehicles, they're going to continue to sell the ICE vehicles, knowing that they've got that EV credit in their back pocket. They'll get that whenever they get around to it.
Mhm.
I mean, in fact, it gives an advantage for them to wait, because if they're selling ICE vehicles at a profit still, and then they wait until all the other current EV manufacturers run out of that rebate, and then they offer theirs, now everybody's going to get theirs just because it's the one with the rebate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't work out too good, I don't think. I mean,
No.
it doesn't properly incentivize like we're
Mhm.
trying to do, so we can get
Yeah.
off of these internal combustion engine vehicles. So
Yeah. Yeah, that and the charge point play that I'm in, I'm hoping that the infrastructure goes up. And so that's another thing I keep watching for you is that like that maybe charge point will be the next call option too that I'm thinking about. Because eventually I feel that if the bill goes into play, then like charging infrastructure. And of course, I think a
all
bunch
right,
of it
here,
is kind of going back up, but I'm like kind of waiting for that. Maybe we'll test the waters in charge point or something.
let me give you an option play for charge point. I'm going to look it up here,
Okay.
because charge
And
point is definitely going to charge point's going to go up. I mean, it's already started
and it's
going up.
down. Yeah.
It went 11%. It went up 11% today in the open, and it's up 2% afterward. Right on the week, it's up 50%. So like this has already started to take off because of Biden's bill. Right,
Yeah.
the expectation that there's going to be money coming in and helping.
Mhm.
So I mean, yeah, maybe it's too late to get in. Not really. I mean, it was up at like $60 a few months ago, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, for anyone else out there, right now is the best time because I got in a long time ago and it was way higher. My average is like 33, so I'm still down. So technically,
Oh yeah,
I
it
feel
topped
like
out at 46. So you basically bought in right
I
at the
was
high
buying
point.
bad. Yeah, I
Good
was buying
job.
bad.
Good job.
But that's because I really had that long-term sense that
Sure.
I feel that it could go easily to $100.
Yeah.
I
So
feel
now
that
you're just
one day it could be up to like maybe I've heard someone say 1,000, but I'm like, I don't know,
sure.
because a lot of other people are like charging infrastructure is not going to make a lot of money. That's not the thing. But I feel like ChargePoint could do other things, but I personally just like them and I use them. And that's why I felt like I got out of Blink a little bit and got out of some other ones and went into ChargePoint.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah,
So
it was the SPAC deal that like does it, and then the crash hit. And then I'm like, okay, this was some crazy timing too. This whole
right.
time that charge point timing of the SPAC was like impeccable right before this drop.
Sure. Sure. Okay. So there's a few different ways you can play it. I'm going to tell you a nice safe play where you can make some money or you can buy your shares cheaper. Okay.
Okay.
Based on the current
Yeah.
price. So we're going to go the expiration date of May 21st. I haven't done a whole lot of studying on this. I'm just going to throw something out for you.
Sure.
What I like to look at is debit spreads. That's where you buy a lower strike price and you sell a higher strike price. And so you give yourself a spread. And the reason we do that, it kind of offsets any type of time decay, right? There's a little bit of time decay, but the one you sell is going to decay at a faster rate. So there's a few different ways you can approach debit spreads, but a nice safe way to do it, because we don't know, we're going to assume charge point's going to go up from here, but it may not. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's say you've got, I don't know, 250 bucks. You got 250 bucks to burn. You can either buy, how many shares is that? You could buy 8 shares, because it's at $30 a share. So you can buy 8 shares, or maybe do this spread. We've got the $25 call. You buy that one, you sell the $30 call. It's all in the money right now. It's all in the money. So if it goes up from here, right now, what that would cost you, you could open that for 240 bucks. So 240 bucks, you can open that. The max gain on it is going to be the difference between those two strike prices. So 500 bucks. So you could double that $240. You could double it by May 21st. So a month and a half from now. So 100% return a month and a half from now, if it stays where it's at right now or goes higher. Now, it's very flexible in this case because it might come down. If it comes down, your break even is going to be at 27.40. So as long as it stays above 27.40, you make some money. If it goes below that, if it goes below that, you could always just exercise that option, meaning you're going to buy the shares and your buy-in price is going to be 27.40. So as of right now, the share price is $30. Would you rather buy some at $30 right now, or have a shot at 100% return and maybe buy some at 27.40 down the road?
Gotcha. Yeah, that is the thing, right? That's the way I need to think about it. Do I want to buy another share or buy a couple shares, or do I want to do this?
Yeah, I mean, this is
that's a good way to think about it.
A month and a half. It would be buying 100 shares. You got to remember, options are 100 shares.
Yeah.
So the downside, like the downside to this method, if you don't get 100% gain, you could break even, or you could give yourself a chance to buy 100 shares at $3 less than what it's trading at right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then
that makes more sense. Yeah.
And then if you did that, you can sell covered calls later on.
Okay. Yeah. And if it's a long-term play, then also you feel more safe about it.
That's the thing. Yeah. You want to do this type of thing with something you're comfortable owning long-term anyways.
Yeah.
Because worst case scenario, you don't make 100% gain in a month and a half, and you end up owning a stock you otherwise want to own.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
so
this
good luck with your trades. I'm
gonna go look at this. I'm gonna need to study more on this now.
We'll be doing I am putting together an options course so I can train people on these.
Okay. I know you do, and that's why I didn't want to touch on that too much. I want you to go ahead and give your shout out as well. Let them know where they can find you, because anyone else new out there, if you don't know James, I want you to know him. Check out his channel, because I feel same thing for me. Anything that I feel helped me might help you. And so check out his channel. Of course, you can see it back there, Oregon Cash Flow Pro.
Oregon Cash Flow Pro. It's in my background.
Hard to say. It's hard to say.
All right. Well, it's good.
Is that the best place for them to find you on your YouTube channel, or
this place is on YouTube? Yep. So I do one-on-one consultations. Just people can talk to me. The links are all over in my videos, but calendly.com/cashflowpro. That's how you booked me to do this interview. And I offer a 20-minute free consultation to anybody. You just got to get in my schedule. It's kind of booked at times.
He is. He's a busy man. That's why I don't want to keep him busy.
Busy, but I do try and offer as much of my time as I can to folks. So
exactly. I feel you.
No cost for that 20-minute consultation. I do offer some paid consultation slots that are available, but if you just want to talk for whatever, there's always a free one to start with. Anytime we talk life insurance, because that's my main gig, those are always free. But I look forward to talking with some folks.
Awesome, James. Well, keep on the lookout for the next Giga Texas video, and everyone else, thanks again for watching.
All right. Keep up the good work. We'll see you next time.
I will, and I'll probably see you in the morning, man.
All right.
All right.
Yeah,
Thanks again.
I may do a live stream tomorrow morning, even though there's no market tomorrow.
Is it what?
It's Good Friday.
It's a holiday. I was like, oh, okay. Okay. Well, if not, Thursday morning.
I usually wake up anyways, and I'm here on the West Coast, so like it's so early. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I usually get up to do the market.
Yeah.
Nobody else is awake here. So if I'm awake, I'll just hop on and we'll just have a fun time talking shop.
Well, it's perfect for me because it's like I get up, do my coffee. It's like, I don't know if anyone else knows how like perfect all these YouTubers are. It's like when I leave Giga Texas, solving the money problem will pop up, you know, or like, and I'm in the morning when I drive to Giga Texas, I'm watching you. I'm like, I think one time I was like, hey, I'm driving to Giga Texas right now. And I'm like speech to texting it while I'm driving and listening to your stuff. So like, totally, man. All right. Nice. All right, dude. Thanks again, everyone.
Take care. We'll see you around, man.
See you later, James. Thanks a bunch.
Bye.
Peace.
Now go maximize your cash flow.